Hi guys, I'm Jay, CEO of OKEx. It's OKEx DeFi Roundtable and a virtual talk series to invite DeFi projects from different segments to have a chat on their current progress, insights, and future developments. Last week we had Stanley, founder of and CEO of Aave, to chat about the innovations of crypto and DeFi lending. Let's move to the topic of DAO today. Welcome our distinguished guest, Luis Cuende, co-founder of Aragon. So, Luis, can you tell us more about yourself and Aragon?
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad to be here. So, from my end, I used to be a software developer, got into software when I was like 12 years old, and I always loved open source software. And back in the day, open source was kind of weird, but like if you look at today, everything is like run by open source, and especially in the Ethereum and kind of like crypto space. So, so very glad to be in that space. And then about like I would say in 2011 or so, I got into Bitcoin. Back then, it wasn't crypto; it was just Bitcoin, and I love the idea of permissionless money and how you can basically give power to the people using cryptocurrencies. And then in 2016, a bunch of different things made my founder and me start Aragon to bring governance tools to the people. So like the way I always look at it is like Bitcoin gives people freedom over their currencies, and Aragon gives people freedom over their way to organize. So with DAOs, with decentralized autonomous organizations, we can give people unparalleled power to organize in new ways. And that's what Aragon does, decentralized autonomous organizations.
Oh, that's very good. I think that's a fantastic idea. And I think without the community, the governance, and it will be. I think it will be a little bit chaotic, and definitely. So, how did you and your team come up with the idea of Aragon and its ecosystem?
Yeah, so back in 2016, my co-founder and me were actually starting a totally different, unrelated startup that was trying to fight against patent trolls, these people who patent very stupid ideas and then they use their patent to sue others. So like, for example, hey, you have a printer, you need to pay me $1,000 because you have a printer and I have a patent for printing, and stuff like that. And we were trying to create a startup to fight against those kind of people in companies. But what we figured out is that the problem was not those like kind of like malicious actors. The problem was the government, which didn't want to change the law because they are corrupt and some of them have very perverse incentives. So that also was a time when Donald Trump won the elections in the US. And then it became very apparent that democracy was falling apart and that we needed new systems of governance. And so we tried to go and fix that very root issue of allowing people to organize in better ways to hopefully save like governance in the world.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So, can I say you got inspiration from Trump's election?
Very much, yeah. Sometimes bad things happen, and those bad things kind of trigger good ones. Like the same way that, Bitcoin was born in 2008 because of the financial crisis, right?
Right. Okay, yeah. So with the more and more DeFi projects and their DAOs being launched, some users have expressed the need for a DAO dashboard to streamline the process of decentralized autonomous governance among projects. And how can Aragon act as a Asana or a Slack for DAOs to make things simpler?
Yeah, definitely. So it's been great to see all of these DeFi projects use Aragon. I think Aragon is the leading platform for DeFi projects to use DAOs and give ownership to the community. The thing we have discovered is that voting is very expensive. And right now, even if you want to use Aragon, Ethereum is very clogged. And so it is very, very hard for people to interact or vote with these crazy fees. So we're working on a couple different solutions to kind of like make that simpler. And we think that in the future, interacting with a DAO should be as simple as like almost just send a Telegram message. We even have this idea of like Telegram DAOs where you can basically just have a Telegram group many projects have Telegram groups already with their followers, and you can use literally like open votes there, and people can like vote directly from the Telegram polls. So we're working on different things and researching different alternatives, but the idea is to basically like make Aragon this easy way for anyone to run a DAO.
Okay, so basically, I think the can I say this? So if anybody, any DeFi projects and they exchange decentralized exchange or something, they want to connect to a governance community, and that they will outsource to this to resort to your community, your company, and Aragon to get basically get a tailor-made DAO. And this in the future, this tailor-made DAO, and we'll actually have connections to the tent farm communities, and so it's a seamless connection, and so everybody's benefit from that, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just giving your community a lot of power over the future of the project.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Let me see. Okay. Aragon Court. Okay, I heard about an interesting DAO product live on Ethereum mainnet. Aragon Court. It seems like Aragon Court is acting as a tool for easier coordination and a dispute resolution within DAOs. And can you tell us more about Aragon Court and its importance?
Yeah, sure. So basically, DAOs are based on smart contracts, and smart contracts are great, but they are very rigid. Like they are very static, and at the end of the day, they are computer code, right? And computers don't know everything that is going on in the human brain. And so, for example, a smart contract can tell you your balance is above or below this number, but the smart contract cannot tell you if you are like abiding to a human right, such as freedom or privacy or whatever.
Right.
And so there's that element that DAOs are missing today, which is the subjective element that we have in like the law systems in the world, basically like enforced by courts. And so we created a decentralized court. And so with this decentralized court, DAOs can basically create their constitution. And then if someone doesn't abide by it, someone can open a dispute and go to the court and basically, slash or penalize the part that is not abiding to this document. So it allows a bunch of things because DAOs can suddenly basically access a new world of subjectivity.
Okay, that's very good. So basically, you will have jurors and plaintiff and all that, the judges and justice and judges and attorney in it, or just a similar. It's basically it's like a version of the real world, real world court.
It is very similar. I would say the difference is that in the court, in Aragon Court, jurors are anonymous and they are economically incentivized, basically using something similar to proof of stake. So it is a bit different in that sense, but the process is very similar actually. The other difference is that the cases that right now Aragon Court can handle are very different to the ones you handle in the traditional world. So like, for example, we're looking at easy things like content moderation. We're looking at things like, does this proposal for funding comply with this small document about which grants could receive money from this DAO? It's not like you can sue like a pharmaceutical company or something like that. The other important thing is that in Aragon Court, it is fully limited liability. So like both parts put their stake and like their tokens staked. And then, each part can lose up of those for those tokens. It cannot like go to jail because you cannot throw anyone in jail in the Ethereum blockchain, right? So like that is the other key difference, I would say.
Okay. Gotcha. That's very good. That's in the Aragon network, and ANT is a native and governance token for managing the overall network. How can we do with the ANT? Like backing work tokens for dedicated network services?
Yeah, so basically, like the way we're looking at it is that DAOs are free, and they're like a kind of like a free base layer of Ethereum and in general other blockchains. But you can build services on top of them and basically make money with those services. So like one of them is Aragon Court, the other one is Aragon Chain. That is a blockchain optimized for DAOs. which right now is very needed because Ethereum is kind of like not working anymore for a lot of non-DeFi applications. But yeah, we like the community is building more and more services, and the way to like have like an index on all of them basically is ANT. And so basically, for example, for Aragon Court, if you want to become a user, you get ANJ, the Aragon Network User Token. And as there is more demand for the court, the way you get ANJ is by staking ANT. And so basically, there's like that work token for users. Then there is the Aragon chain token for like Aragon chain validators, but those are isolated. And if you want to get any of those, you have to use ANT and buy ANT to access those. And so basically, like ANT ends up being kind of like the index of the kind of like DAO services industry, so to say.
Okay. Yeah, that's very intriguing, actually. Now, let me ask you a question. What if somebody wants to say a DeFi project? They want to tailor-made basically they don't want to go through the all the troubles and going and build a DAO themselves. They come to you, right? And they come to you, and what's just what is the concept of actually not the concept was what is the process of doing this, and we just provide the specs to you guys, or and you are just like a manufacturer, produce all that and produce a DAO for them.
So we used to do that with a couple projects per quarter, maybe. Now it's much more of a self-service thing. So like, for example, there was this huge DAO by Curve, the stablecoin exchange. And Curve basically just launched their DAO without, we didn't even know that much of it. And a bunch of others have done the same, like Metastable, P tokens, DHedge, a bunch of like other DeFi projects. Because the cool thing is that like once there are more DeFi projects using it, they publish their source code, they publish their specs, and then other DeFi projects can just go to them and they can like basically kind of like copy that Aragon template and customize it a bit and launch it. So right now it's mostly like a very organic process where projects just go in and we have to help them, but like most of them are just kind of like organic.
Okay, that's very good. That's simple. Okay, we want to keep it simple. Okay, that's very good. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about Ethereum 2.0. Aragon launched its own blockchain infrastructure, Aragon Chain, for high scalability. And do you think Ethereum 2.0 will be able to help Aragon reach product market fit in accordance with the timeline on Aragon's blueprint? Will Aragon be leaving the Ethereum galaxy?
I think the way I've been putting it is that Ethereum is great, but Ethereum is Manhattan. Like Ethereum is the business district. Ethereum is a place where you are going to pay a lot and you're going to get a very small studio, noisy and like probably bad weather and all of that. But on the other hand, you are very close to where everything is happening. So like you have hyper connectivity to any DeFi protocol. And so that is great. And that's where Ethereum really excels. But like in the housing market, you can also go to the suburbs. You can like go to a place that you need to maybe like ride 20 minutes to the center of the city, and you can get a cheaper place with a pool. You can get a cheaper place with like maybe like nicer weather and less noise. And so you have to make these trade-offs, right? And what we're trying to do with Aragon Chain is we're saying, okay, there are DAOs that are DeFi DAOs that want to stay on Ethereum and they want to pay high fees because like it's good for them. But there's this long tail of DAOs that doesn't want that. It wants to be in a place where they can have cheap, fast transactions, a lot of transaction throughput. And Aragon Chain is perfect for that. In the future, you could even have basically cross-chain communication. Like we're a huge fan of the Cosmos ecosystem, and Aragon Chain is built on Cosmos. And that's where it gets interesting because you can have both, right? But right now it's kind of like you have to choose between Manhattan and the suburbs.
Okay. So basically, you're saying that maybe Cosmos or some other platform, some other things that can actually they can facilitate the super highways, and that's very good analogy. And you have basically a highway in the interstate highway in suburb, and you have a Manhattan freeway. Basically connect them each other, and it becomes everything and adapts will be a blockchain, agnostic, and all that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Right. Okay. What do you hope the centralized players like OKEx can do more to facilitate DeFi space? Is that your end or mine?
That's probably on your end. Yeah.
Mine?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. Sorry about that.
It's done. That's okay.
Uh,
So we well, I can just go on.
should I repeat the question? And
Oh yeah, you repeat. Yeah.
what do you hope the centralized players like OKEx can do more to facilitate the DeFi space?
I have a suggestion, and that is launch a DAO and give OKB holders governance over something that you believe is valuable. Because then I think the power of DeFi is community, and once you give people agency, it can really explode. So I think I'm looking forward to the first centralized exchange that launches a DAO and some kind of like yield farming program with its own token. I think that would be incredible.
Okay, that's good. I'm really looking for the future collaboration with the Aragon and also other DeFi projects. I think there's a lot of potential for the future, and especially on the DeFi space. And I think OKEx, like OKEx centralized players, they can do a lot more by just facilitating, and it's like a gateway and to a new world. And basically, and also OKEx, it also has its own product and trying to have an OK chain at the same time. So I think it would be great beneficial for both of, for Aragon and OK chain, and to have a further collaboration. And let's move to the next question. Some of the early players in crypto space like us still remember the DAO attack in 2017 very clearly. The hack made us reflect on the development of decentralized autonomous organizations. What can be learned from this incident, and it could help with crafting the future of DAO?
Yeah, obviously, when we were starting Aragon in 2016, it was a few months after the DAO hack. And so one thing that we took very seriously was security. So today in DeFi, you can see these protocols that are like, that have $100 million in assets under management in like an hour with no audits. We didn't went that route. We went the route of doing a lot of code audits, a lot of security audits, a lot of security backed bounties, and growing our assets under management very slowly. So like if you look at Aragon today, after nearly 2 years on mainnet, the assets under management have grown a lot lately. It was like maybe $4 million like a year ago, and now it's $350 million. And if you look at other tokens that are secured by Aragon, so kind of like governed by Aragon, Aragon DAOs, then we're looking at billions of dollars. And that was a very kind of like parabolic growth in the last months, but it took us years to get here. So I think a lot of audits and being very diligent about security really pays off.
Okay, I couldn't agree more. And last question. That's it's very easy. The final question is just one word to describe the future of DeFi and why.
Stressful. Yeah, because you have to be on 24/7, and if you go on vacations 1 week and you come back, everything has changed.
Okay. That's the first word. I mean, not the idea of it. Yeah, I think come to think about it, it is like I think in the traditional financial system, it's everybody works. It's like laid back. They work hard, and in Manhattan, like for example, the CBD district, and but they got weekends off and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
with this, it's all around the clock, and it's just it is stressful. Come to think about it, it is stressful.
Exactly. Yeah, crypto market doesn't close on weekends.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, it runs 24/7, 365. It's just and everybody is like, it's very excited and it's hyped, and at the same time, and it's you have a very good mentality. Okay, let's wrap this session quickly. And we in this session we have honor to have distinguished guest Luis Cuende to here and to join us. And we talk about the Aragon, the idea of creation of the Aragon, and also their future plans and for the DeFi space, and we talk about the mechanism, the ideation of the actually creating DAO for every project, every individual project, and make it easier. It's like a manufacturer, and everything is organic and automatic. It's very easy, and they also have a Aragon chain and being launched, and it's basically I'm fascinated by the idea of an analogy of the suburb and Manhattan, and so they got interconnected in the future as well. And we also talk about the Aragon Court, and which is it's very good idea. So to arbitrate all the disputes and all that, and within the DAO system, and so that we talk about many things, and definitely I think also as OKEx we definitely are looking for some big players like Aragon, and as well as others, and join us in this DeFi space, and pretty much get the whole thing going, and pretty much have the whole thing the future, build the future. I'm sorry about that. The phone rang. I'm sorry. Yeah, basically we have I think we see a lot of collaboration and potential, and taking the basically bring the partnership and up a few notches and up a few levels, and so that's definitely what we're looking for, and it benefits for all of us in the DeFi projects and in DeFi space. So Luis, do you have any more questions for me? And
not at all. Looking forward to the future.
okay, I'm looking forward to have more discussion with you in the future, and I hope we'll welcome you back in within by the end of the year or early next year. I mean, yeah, and good luck on your project and your success. I believe you will have a tremendous success, and you're very talented, and I think definitely the future is bright for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Likewise.
Okay, thank you. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.